welcome to Business Morning. We're live to you from Lagos, Nigeria's financial epicenter. I am Boston Omofai, live here at Channel's global headquarters studios in the city. Let's get the show started. President Buhari presents his final budget for his first time in office yesterday, reeling out performance indices of roads, rail, and power infrastructure, as well as the seized corrupt assets, including social investment programs. He dwelt extensively on what his administration had achieved along those corridors within the budget. Then he spent a bit more time later to talk about the budget 2019 itself, of course, which will be a bit smaller in size, 8.83 trillion naira. Part of the highlights include the deficit spending in the new budget. There will be more borrowings, of course, to fund the budget. Revenue is still weak despite higher tax revenue. Income-generating revenue agencies are bringing in much smaller money into the national pass. But on the flip side, or what you call the tailwinds, is the Buhari's administration putting more money into defense, education, and healthcare in the new year. That is part of some of the positive readings in the new budget. Of course, one of the contentious issues is the new minimum wage. Of course, there's no new minimum wage yet. The president says there will be a new technical committee to decide the funding to prevent what you call the fiscal imbalance or fiscal fiasco, and make sure that the new minimum wage does not arise from more borrowings, and also assess the impact it would have on inflationary pressure. Of course, some good news as well is that three DFIs, Bank of Agriculture, the Bank of Industry, and the Development Bank of Nigeria will get more funding support, totaling 25 billion naira in the new year. Meantime, we got the unemployment report from the Statistics Office showing our headline figure at 23.1%. This is putting all of the outstanding quarterly numbers together, and the number of working age jumps from 111.1 million people to 115.5 million within the one-year period. If you're checking in with what's making the headlines, the Nigeria's excess crude account balance is now down to less than $1 billion. $631 million is the actual figure as of December the 19th, because the federal government drew down about $2.319 billion to settle the final tranche of the Paris Club refund to state governments. Meantime, the Federal Account Allocation Committee shared nearly 1 trillion naira, 812.76 billion for the month of November. All those monies will be coming in, at least the FAC will be coming in before December the 31st. So 10 days to the end of the year, you're going to see what you call the whiff of money, a lot of money coming through. Meantime, the highway to the mergers and acquisitions between Access and Diamond Bank is continuing. Both bank CEOs and their team yesterday gave further details on the merger, which is expected to take place within the first 6 months of next year. Access Bank is planning to raise $250 million on one hand, and another $200 million US. This money will be coming together to buy Diamond Bank, as well as clean up the toxic assets of Diamond Bank just about the time when the corporate marriage will be taking place. That's the story. Clean up Diamond Bank. Diamond is rough. If you see a shining diamond, someone have cleaned it up. So Access is going to clean up Diamond Bank as far as that relationship is concerned. We're going to spend days ahead to continue to talk about this and get what will be the size and everything about the new emerging Access Bank without any contagion, as it were, from the outgoing Diamond Bank, if all the regulatory approvals, including shareholders, come through next year. Put that on your calendar. Stick it there. Let's get back to the unemployment data. What has it got to do with our misery index? How miserable are we with the latest unemployment numbers, or how miserable we will be, most likely be, moving forward? Let's have the first word on this big economic data that came through yesterday. Bismarck Rewane, CEO at Financial Derivatives Company and Channel Television Economic Counselor, is live to us via Skype from downtown Lagos. Mr. Rewane, good morning. It's good to have you with us on the program.
Good morning, Wilson.
Raise the curtain for us as far as this data is concerned.
Unemployment up, underemployment down, and misery index flat. That is what has happened. The unemployment went up from 18 to 23, which is significant. Underemployment came down by about 1%. But the important thing is that in this period, inflation was coming down. So because of the reduction in inflation, which was much more significant, it actually evened out. But the fundamental rules of economics and the law of economics, Phillips curve, says that there is an inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment. In other words, inflation increases, unemployment reduces. Unemployment increases, inflation reduces. So that is what has played out. That is a natural phenomenon of economics. That's what has played out. So as far as Nigeria is concerned, misery remains the same at about 55%. Unemployment is up, underemployment is down. But the problem with underemployment is that when underemployment increases, the man who is underemployed is barely paid. He has enough money to get by or to hang in there and to commit crime later on in the day. So underemployment is a major contributor to criminal activity than the unemployed. And what they announced yesterday were a number of millions of people who earned and did nothing throughout the year. That's dangerous. Idle and unemployed.
That's a very dangerous and volatile cocktail. But again, if you look at the working population, or what you call the working age number, which went to 115.5 million, that means we have millions, an army of Nigerians waiting to get jobs, but they are not getting it.
No, the 150 million is the workforce, right? The workforce. But those who are unemployed are slightly over 20 million. So that is, and unemployment is defined as somebody who has not earned anything in 24 hours to 48 hours. That's the ILO definition. So you can play with the numbers, but the important thing is that youth unemployment is increasing, urban unemployment is increasing, and more than anything else, the wage and the productivity level in Nigeria is negative. So there's negative labor productivity, there's increasing unemployment, there was a declining inflation, but which has now started picking up. So if you look forward, there are some difficult days ahead. That is the truth. There are efforts that are made, and results are there, but the results are not impactful at this point.
Okay, so how do we place this unemployment in our job creation policy and action focus?
That is why you have to come back to the budget. When you have unemployment and you are recovering from a recession, then you got to spend aggressively. You've got to invest. If you look at the budget itself, the growth in the budget expenditure and revenue has actually slowed down. I mean, there's a negative growth as far as we're concerned. So as far as the way we see it is that this is a transitionary budget. The budget, there will be a supplementary budget next year. There's no way that Nigeria is going to grow if your revenues are going to come down. And some of the basic assumptions in the budget, you are saying that the benchmark price is $60 a barrel. For the first time in the history of all of these administrations, this is the first time where the benchmark price is lower, or the benchmark price is higher than the spot price. The spot price is 6% lower than the benchmark price. And when you started this program, you talked about the excess crude account, which has been virtually wiped out. The reason why there's no excess crude account balance is because there has been no savings. That is because you have had an aggressive benchmark price, and you have been, by way of environment, the excess crude account has been raided consistently over the years. From the time of Jonathan up to this administration, we've raided and used it for bailouts for states, for salary arrears, for all sorts of things, without addressing the fundamental issues. There are fundamental macroeconomic issues that need to be dealt with. Expenditure is not equal to investment. Investment is that which you forsake consumption to invest so that you can increase productivity, increase employment, and deal with the issues of output. That is what is happening today.
Mr. Rewane, let's leave it there for today. We'll have more time to check in with you as the year wraps up and give us a bit of a more robust insight into what to expect, what your playbook is, what you're writing in your playbook for next year. We want to see that in the next couple of days. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Mr. Rewane, the CEO at Financial Derivatives Company, and of course, Channels Television Financial Counselor. Something big is also happening today. FMDQ, OTC Securities Exchange, is combining combining market integration, money and capital markets. And of course, this is very big because they're floating a new dealing member specialist market, which will allow market operators to have an idea of what you're trading currency on one hand, and you're trading treasuries or Naira bond on the other hand. This is one big news coming through as we're wrapping up the new year, or the old year, and coming into the new year. But But of course, this is coming new again because FMDQ believes the market needs to be deepened. We need more liquidity in the market. We need more flexibility for those who are trading the market. So the two markets are being combined, and today the FMDQ is ready to unveil this particular, the launch is getting ready. So let's get a bit of a sense of what to expect today as we unwrap this with Jumoke Olaniyan. She's the Vice President in charge of market architecture at FMDQ, OTC Securities Exchange, joining us live from the studios in downtown Lagos. Jumoke, good morning, great day.
Good day, Bosun.
Yes, so you're building the bridge today between the money and the debt market. What does it entail?
Oh, thank you very much, Bosun. We actually launched this. This actually went live yesterday, Bosun, and as you can imagine, we're so excited at FMDQ. What this entailed was facilitating non-bank financial institutions becoming dealing members in the fixed income market. Hitherto, this market, of course, was primarily an interbank market where it was, the banks had the capacity to deal fixed income in the in the dealing market itself. What we launched yesterday was facilitate a platform and a market structure where these non-bank financial institutions, these are generally your broker-dealer type institutions, can now deal directly with banks on a platform with full transparency, price discovery, an automated system, a straight-through processing system for settlement. So as you'd imagine, that's an integration that has been a long time coming in the Nigerian financial market. So all it entailed was such institutions onboarding on this platform, of which we had 6 pioneer institutions yesterday. We had several banks signed on, ready to give prizes and quotes to these institutions and deal directly with these institutions on the platform.
Okay, so trading and dealing via the FMDQ Q-Deal system.
Correct. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so declaring the settlement process. 1 minute.
Yes. So the clearing and settlement process, the clearing process goes through FMDQ Clear Limited, the wholly owned subsidiary of FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, who does all the clearing, the risk management, margining, as you would, and facilitate settlement instructions to a settlement bank. So to facilitate this and mitigate the risk, ensure smooth settlement process, we designated a settlement bank for these DMSs, the dealing member specialist, and the appointed bank at this time is Stanbic IBTC PLC, IBTC Bank PLC. And so FMDQ Clear will facilitate settlement instructions to Stanbic IBTC Bank PLC, who will settle all the transactions on behalf of the dealing member specialist. So they will facilitate whether it is between 2 dealing member specialists, that settlement, or whether the transaction happened between a dealing member specialist and a bank. Stanbic will facilitate that settlement for both the securities and the cash settlements.
Okay, Jumoke, let's check in with your team over the next few days, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Monday. Give us an idea how this new system is starting to work out. So we want to have an update with you in the next couple of days to check in. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of you there. FMDQ, of course, debt and currency market data partner with Channels Television. Of course, you can see that on your TV screen, scrolling down there. Let's get back to Buhari's final budget for his first time in office. What are the details? As always said, there are the devil in the details. What are the headwinds and the tailwinds that we face? And what does it mean for you in the new year? Check out the playbook with Yomi Olugbenro from Deloitte, Nigeria. After the break.